official WNBA playoff game. What are the emotions, the feelings kind of going into it?
I mean, I feel excited. I think you can tell just by our vibe, everybody's really fired up and just ready to kind of start play. And I feel like being able to come off a win versus them, even though we lost our first 3 matchups, knowing that we can build some confidence from that, and even knowing that we didn't play a great game that time either, and just going back and really knowing our schemes, knowing our personnel is going to be really important during these matchups, because every single matchup or every single possession is going to matter for us. That's what it's going to come down to. So, but more than anything, I think everybody's just really excited to get out there.
Feeling about this team, obviously you guys look pretty loose out there, and having fun and levity is important for the squad, but also knowing the importance of the moment. What do you feel like is the important balance to strike between those two?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get too tight. Like, that's not going to let you play good basketball. And I think that's what's brought us a lot of success here in the second half of the season, is the fun and energy that we play with, and a light mood. So I think it's good that you see everybody with that, but at the same time, I feel like everybody's approaching this as, this is the playoffs. This is very important to every single person on this team. And obviously we don't have a ton of playoff experience in our starting 5. This is everybody's first, playoff game. So that's a different dynamic as well, but maybe that's a good thing. You don't get overwhelmed by the moment, and you just approach it as, it's another game, and you prepare the exact same way and go out there and compete.
Yeah, to go off that, even if you're starters too, have playoff experience in this league, how do you think playoff experience in Iowa may help?
I mean, I don't know if it'll help. I think the thing is, I feel like we played in a lot of big games with eyes on us all year long, this group, so I don't think anybody shies away from that, shies away from the attention, shies away from the moment. Everybody's playing for their lives. Every single game's going to matter. Obviously, there's going to be 2 games in the series. This is going to be our last game no matter what. So I think just approach it as, this is another game. Obviously, there's more to it, but I think you can't put too much pressure on yourself. That's not going to allow you to perform your best. And I feel like our mood has been really great. Like, everybody knows what's on the line, but at the same time, like, this is basketball. Go out there and play like we've been playing all year long, and hopefully that will bring us some success.
Caitlin, have the last couple of weeks kind of felt like playoff games? It just seems like there's been extra intensity, more physicality to all this, as everybody's been fighting for seeding, fighting for position.
I mean, like I said, I've never played in a playoff game, so I can't really speak to that. But I assume it's going to be more physical. The rest might not call as much, and you just have to expect that. Everybody's going to amp it up. Everybody's fighting for something. There's a little bit more on the line, so you would expect that intensity to be a little bit more. That's how we're approaching it. That's hopefully how we're going to play as well. Is we got to get every loose ball. We need to be diving on the floor. We need to box out. We need to do all the little things that are going to help us win.
Caitlin, speaking of, go ahead. You started your season here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You're back here for the playoffs. Just the vibe of the team. Like, how do you feel right now? How can you compare?
Yeah, well, it feels like a completely different season, honestly, since when we were here from the very first time we played. So I think it's a fun opportunity for us. I feel like we haven't played well at all inside this gym. The second time we came here, I think it was game 13 or so. We didn't play well either. So it's a great opportunity for us to come in here and show what we're made of. I think we're a completely different team than those first couple times we were here. So I think that's what's exciting about it, is we've changed so much, we've improved so much, our confidence has grown a lot. But we know this team is, they're an older veteran team. They know what the playoffs takes. They know what it takes to be really good. So we're going to need to be able to match that and bring our own intensity, and know that they're going to play with a different level of physicality and intensity. But I don't think that's, like I said, I don't think that's something we're going to shy away from too. That's something we're going to try to bring as well.
And then speaking of keeping things light, you probably know that you're a play-by-play call.
Yeah.
The baseball game went a little viral. Can you tell me, that was in D.C., right?
Yeah.
And can you tell us what was going on and how that happened?
Well, I told Lex that sometimes I'll just commentate some games, and she's like, all right, we'll do it right now. And then I didn't really know she was recording until a little bit ways through. But I don't know, it's just kind of fun, and I've kind of been following the Phillies. So I kind of know some of their players and stuff, but yeah, it was pretty funny. I messed up a few times, but that's a hard gig. And also, I was out of breath and exhausted. So shout out to all the commentators out there. I did it for 2 minutes, and I needed a break. So, and in baseball, there's a lot of dead time, so you have to find some random things to talk about. So I was talking about his shoes, talking about random stuff, but a little different than basketball. But I don't know if commentating's in my future, but who knows? Maybe one time for fun, somebody will let me do it.
We've got 2 more. Caitlin, I want to get a sidebar about your autographs. When you go in and sign kind of a mad dash for 70 seconds, particularly at your home games, how do you focus on what you're looking for there? What are you seeing in kind of that gaggle of people?
Well, first thing I'm looking for is the young kids. Like, that's who I look to sign for more than anything. Young girls, young boys, that's who I want to make sure I can get to before anything. Obviously, I want to make time for everybody. That's obviously really hard with the amount of people that are over there and want me to sign. But definitely looking for the young boys and young girls, like I said, that I feel like I was just them wanting anybody's autograph. So that's definitely what I look for when I go over there.
Last one.
A very quick one. Why are you now following the Phillies?
My boyfriend grew up a really big Phillies fan, so I kind of had to like the Phillies. But I do like them. I like Bryce Harper. I still like the Cubs. I like the Yankees. I'm not like a diehard any baseball team. My dad was a big Royals fan growing up because Kansas City was like the closest professional sports team to where I grew up. So I liked the Chiefs before the Chiefs were really good too. So I'm not a bandwagoner either. But yeah, I like the Phillies. So I guess I'll cheer for them this postseason.
Now that it's playoffs, it's here now. You just feel a different vibe today?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's just excited. We're ready for tomorrow. We looked for this game for a long time, and the fact that it's finally here, we're just ready for it.
You played them 3 times early in the season, but then beat them at the end of August right there. What do you feel was the biggest jump for this group from kind of that first third to this last third?
I think just we're a different team from those first 3 games to our last one we played them. And not only is it just us having time to play together, but I just feel like we're playing our best basketball on both sides of the court, so they just saw a different team that game.
Caitlin just talked about the play-by-play of the Phillies. She gave her version of the backstory. What's your version? And I guess what would you rate 1 out of 10?
First rating, I think, there's always room to improve, but I was impressed, so I'd give it a 9. But we were just hanging out, and she was like, I did this the other day, like randomly, and then she turn on the game. I was like, okay. Turned on the game, and she just started going at it, so it was funny. She makes me laugh, for sure.
She said she didn't realize at first that you were actually recording.
No, yeah, she I don't know why she did it, because it was too funny not to record, but I remember the first line she said, she turned around and then she saw I had my camera out and she was like, oh. And then she kept going, so it was great.
Are you guys roommates or?
No.
No, everyone has roommates.
Yeah,
You were just hanging out in your room.
These last couple of weeks felt more physical. Just felt like everything's been ramped up here as y'all got into September. All these games have a little more to it from all the teams coming in.
Yeah, I think, when you get into the end of the season, everything means a lot more, especially with those teams that we played that were fighting for the 8th spot, and then the teams that were fighting for their position within the standings. So you just see it. You see a lot more physicality, and I know that, a lot of us haven't played in a playoff game, but that physicality is only going to get better, a lot, more aggressive. It just means a lot more, so everything, is going to be a lot more physical.
It was 35 not to have playoff experience yet. What's kind of the proportion between excitement and nerves with it only being 24 hours away?
I think we're more excited. I wouldn't say we're nervous. We all have postseason experience in college, so I think just taking it one game at a time and rely on the experiences we've had this far in the season, and just know that we have confidence in each other and in our team. So just go out and play the game that we know.
But also, speaking of college, it's one and done. Obviously.
Yeah.
You guys made it all the way a few years ago. But is there something that you can take away from that, or is there even something a little you can give yourself almost a little feeling of a cushion, or not that it's easier by any means because you have been through this, but you at least would have a second game in this case?
Yeah, and I think, for us, it's important to treat each game as it comes, not really thinking about that second game or that third game, but really focus on this first one and make sure that, Christie said it today, every rebound, every possession, every loose ball, everything matters, so for 40 minutes tomorrow, that's what we're focused on, and take it as it comes.
I feel like there's pressure to get this first one, though. You got to get this one to know that potentially there'd be a game 3 at home, or you don't want to have that elimination game ahead of you.
We're just going in for the win. I think that's the focus. Yeah.
What are some of the things that you guys have been focusing on, just schematically and both ends of the floor?
They're really good at turning teams over, so making sure that we're taking care of the ball, we're really deliberate in our actions and what we want to get out on the offensive end, and then making sure that we're locked into the defensive scout. I think, just it's going to come down to focus and making sure that we're locked in every possession.
Last one.
Last time you played Connecticut, it was at home. Probably one of those electric games of the year. Just from that day, what sticks out to you most? What do you remember most from that game?
I think we were gelling, we were flowing. It was a fun atmosphere, not only because of our fans, but when our offense is flowing, it's fun to get out and run and pass and cut. And when we score the ball, it makes all ends of the floor that much better. So hopefully we can just get into that groove tomorrow.
Game?
Yeah.
What are the emotions, thoughts, feelings?
You try to keep it as game-like as possible, as if it was a game 41, but we can't help you guys coming here, so obviously need something. But I'm excited. I think that, see where you at now. it's kind of a telltale sign. We made it, but it's not enough. So.
How much confidence does it give this team knowing that last time you saw the Sun, you guys were able to beat them, and that first quarter in of itself is such a statement.
Yeah, it took 3 or 4 times, which sucked, but they're who they are for a reason. Olympians, All-Stars, so we know what we got to face. We know what's at stake. But I like to think that we prepared ourselves to be here. So I'm gonna go off that. I'm still go off that part.
Kelsey, Christie said she's kind of stroked out when you went down in the Washington game, right? That's what she told us afterwards. And she said, "That's it, right? You're not playing anymore." How are you? Was there anything?
I feel great. I think hopefully you guys saw me. I didn't think I looked bad. I feel great. I think for us it was just about precautions, prevention, so to speak, and I feel good to see the other end, celebrate the ones that were on the floor the other day. So on the bright side, I was grateful to see, Victoria, Wally World, Lou, E-Dub, have a great time. So it was the best of both worlds.
But you're fine.
Oh, yeah, I feel great.
In Washington, just what was it like for you and the other starters? Just to be able to roll on the bench. I mean,
Yeah,
that doesn't
it was
happen
dope,
when you
man.
guys were up and.
Yeah, it was a really good experience for us. It just goes to show that we like to think the next man is up, and we knew the adjustment going into this game, and we knew that our second group was gonna kind of carry us, and I think they did a really great job doing it. So proud of them.
Connecticut.
Yeah, it's always fun to be here. It's like a second home always coming back.
Tell me the differences in this team when you first came here, to start the season to where you guys are now.
Yeah, I just think that we've kind of found our groove as a group. I think we've really bonded and come close together throughout this whole season, and you can see that in the way our chemistry unfolds on the court. We're still young, but I think that gives us kind of an advantage of just playing without any type of remorse when we go. Like, just keep going no matter what. We kind of don't have anything holding us back. Everyone just wants to play and go as fast as they can.
You deal with a lot of craziness during your 4 years at UConn with Stewie and everyone else. Can you even compare to what it's been like this year with the Caitlin effect?
No, I can honestly say it's something that I've never experienced ever. The support and love there is in every single arena we go to. I think we've played out in a sellout every single game. And you just look up and you see the 22s everywhere. It's been such a cool thing to see and be a part of, to be part of this growth in women's basketball, but it is a phenomenon.
How would you describe how she's handled it, particularly a kid months out of college?
I mean, I think she handles it great. I mean, she always surprises me in the way that she is always, herself. She's always light. She's always having fun with all this attention, all this pressure, all things being said, both positive and negative about her. She always comes in every single day and is the same Caitlin and is very consistent. So it's been a cool thing to see. I didn't know her at all before being on this team. And so it's been awesome to see her and learn how she is as a person, but even as a season and see the growth. People don't get to see her behind the scenes always, and she's really just as goofy as she seems she is every single day.
Describe your season so far.
Yeah, this has been quite a season. I'm just happy to be back in the playoffs, I think, to be a part of this team throughout my season. This has probably been the hardest season I've ever had as a player and as a person. And so there's just been a lot that's gone into it. And every day I've shown up and tried to be the best version of me. And that's all I can really do every single day.
I think there's only 4 of you that have playoff experience. Mm-hmm. What can you try? And even then, it's kind of minimal. I think 3 games or 4 games deal. What can you try to tell your teammates to help them through, because everyone says it's different?
Yeah, I think just the understanding of every possession matters. It really is from the tip off to the end of the game, it's such a high intensity game. Understanding that we need to value the ball. We need to be where we need to be. The good thing about now is we don't have a single elimination game like before. Those ones are different. I've never played in a series, so I'm excited to see how that is. But I think as a group, honestly, our youth could help us in that sense of not knowing how high stakes it is and just maybe going out there and playing free.
Why has the season been challenging?
I've just been through a lot this past year. I've been able to come back from having a kid and just be here. I'm really proud of myself just to be here and be in this position I am to play these last few games. I'm really happy and proud of myself. That's about it.
right, we're good. I'm sorry. I just
Go ahead.
should have. Have they asked about that great scene with you and Caitlin where you end up on top of her in practice? Because we were just asking Lexie about the baseball. You know, what was going on there? How did that happen?
She's just she's a kid sometimes, and keeps everything light, but sometimes you just got to put her in place.
And then, of course, the other time that it's now out there, and it's when you come running in the Dallas game, I believe it was, and just kind of plant yourself right in front of her, which I saw in real time, and we just laughed out loud in the spots. Any thoughts on that one?
If we can keep her from getting technicals, that is always a positive. We made it through without getting to 7, so I think that was our goal as a group, and we did it. So
was that one of the fastest sprints you've done in a while from the bench to the half court?
No, I mean, she's just always chirping, but it's good, and she knows it too, so it's easy to like laugh about it and play off of it too.
So where do you think you are? Seems like everyone looks loose and happy. Is that kind of the way you want them to be going into this?
Yeah, I think that is the way we've been operating. Really hard work, have fun doing it. I think that's where we are, and got what we needed to get out of today. So ready for that game tomorrow.
Some time has passed since the last time you played Connecticut at home, but do you take any film from that game? Are you playing that now, or is too much time passed?
No, we took film from all of the games, even though we played those first 3 in the first 13 games of the season when we were not very good at that point. There's still things that we can take from it and learn from it. So yeah, I mean, played them a few weeks ago, got the win, took some from that, but we just continue to make it about us. Like we do what we need to do so we have a chance to be successful against a really, really, really good team.
Christie, did your expectations for Caitlin Clark and the team fluctuate at all this season? And how would you assess them now?
It was early when things weren't going so great for us. You start, you really work hard as the leader in the locker room to make sure that they don't start thinking, what's going on here, and things could go sideways, so it was making sure they were good. But as a coach, same thing, when just trying to make sure I stayed the course. My coaches stayed the course. Knew we had 5 days of practice before we played our first game without Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, and then you throw in Kelsey Mitchell in the midst of, just playing games. I know the talent I have and what they can do in the future for the Fever. It was just going to take time, and nobody really wanted to give us that time early. But you're seeing that now.
Have they exceeded your expectations?
Not really, no. I really believe in that group of people who we have some really, really young, great talent. Throw in a Kelsey Mitchell who's playing unbelievable basketball right now and is leading as well. You saw glimpses of it early. We just couldn't put it together that fast. But now, with the work and the practice and the the Olympic break, it's just kind of now we're just trying to just keep those good habits going because it's the work. It's what it was. That's why we're here, because of the work they put in.
When we talked last summer, you also talked a lot about the work and the process. And when I asked about championships, you said we'll talk about that in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you still agree with that or not?
I'm going to stick with 3 to 5 years.
For this team.
You're gonna have to win a game here to advance, possibly play a game before win 2 games. How do you think you've improved as a road team?
I think the one thing is we've played in packed arenas every single game, and we played in away games where there was a lot of red that was in there. So it does at times feel like a home game on the road. The fans that are showing up, I think. Which is incredible, just the packed houses and then also the support for these guys. But we've been in some environments where it's just been like finals basketball. And I just think from start to now, that's prepared us for where we are in this game, in this first game. And that's the only one we're worried about. I think our record on the road is, pretty decent. I can't remember exactly, Ryan. You know exactly what I wrote, 12-8. But I think just the hostility on the road that we've had every day prepared us where we are right now.
Christie, 40 games in, what are you most proud of for this group?
For this moment right here, for them to play in the playoffs. And these guys have gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot from day one, just adding a new point guard. It's almost a change from what we did last year. I really can't say enough about the players. There's 8 of them that are here that were on the team last year that really laid that foundation. and what they did to set us up for where we are now. Just proud of playing in this game. Their hard work paid off, and they're going to have an opportunity to do something we haven't done since 2016.
The Sun have
8 and 12.
the Sun have something like 200 collective games of playoff experience, and you all have 19.
We do.
So what do you think about that? Is that something you just you can't change the experience factor, or how do you maybe try to counterbalance that as a coach, and even just messaging to them?
Yeah. Have you seen the one that says how many minutes I have in playoff games compared to the minutes of Connecticut? Yeah, look at that one. That one's a fun one to look at. You know what? Like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They don't know. So what they don't know, like, they're just going to come out. They play hard, right? Like, they play hard from the time that we jump ball. So, like, what they don't know, they're just going to keep doing. I hope they just keep doing what we've been doing all season.
And this is done. You win a prize.
In terms of the intensity and focus for Sunday, how do you think that you and your team sort of, handled the quick turnaround, from going to Washington and then, you clear that and you only really have 48 hours?
Yeah. I mean, this has kind of been our schedule, right? Like from the start. I mean, that's kind of what we've done. We've also played every other day for several in a row. So we've kind of had a routine. And I didn't want to change up a lot. It's the playoffs. We went a little bit more in depth with our scout. We spent a little bit more time in video. Just had my offensive coach, Jesse Miller, really lock in on, my defensive coach really lock in on Connecticut just a little bit deeper. And then Paul Miller, who's my offensive coach, really lock in on their defense. They got their books yesterday, and they're like, we don't get this every time. It's the playoffs. Got to do things a little different. So just trying to find ways, little things, for them that give them a little bit more, because we are, this is different. This is next level. And we've just got to play up to people who have a lot of experience compared to us.
Yeah, Sunday is
got time for 2 more, guys.
The most pivotal point probably since 2016. Is there anybody that you've leaned on lately or maybe sought advice for this moment?
Well, the lady that's sitting right over there who has a lot of experience in a championship, it's been nice to have her. Lynn has been awesome for me. Also, I've talked about Dan Hughes is somebody I've had as a mentor and talked to him. I really respect him and all the years of his, when he was a coach, won championships. So just tried to, find people who've been in these moments and could just, I'm a second-year head coach. I am very coachable too. So I am willing to have any information, advice to help whatever I can get these guys to help them be successful is what I'm trying to do.